Hello, it's me again. I'm currently walking, but I've had a thought. I just had my first day at my course, and you know what? We celebrate the little wins. The little wins. It's definitely a step forward. Definitely more of a step forward than I thought. I think I was being quite negative on purpose. Not negative, but like not celebrating it necessarily. But it's much more of a step forward than I thought it was. I'm excited for it. And that's all I could ask, really. So quite happy about that. I need to pee. I could use to pee. I could use peeing. Anyway, that's not the reason I wanted to do a video. The reasoning is, I had a thought last night, and I've been mulling on it. It's not about me or my life or anything. It's just a thought, philosophical sort of. And if this isn't the place for that, then I don't know what is. So, I remember back when I was 13, 14, which was sort of before I decided I wanted to become an actor. I was interested in acting from a very young age. I kind of had to, given my mum's a drama teacher, but not seriously. And then it had a kind of hiatus for me in like those early teenage years where I didn't really think about it. It was just a thing that existed for me. And then when I was 14, 15, I started to get back into theatre, and then it was all over from there. That was the thing I wanted to do. But there was a brief period where I wanted to be people would ask me, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to be a mortician, which is a bit of a red flag. And so I think I changed that to forensic scientist. I don't know why I wanted to be a mortician. Anyway, not the point. But at that time, I was living life kind of day to day. I wasn't really thinking about the future, working towards a future goal. I was simply in a social environment. I was boarding at my school, so I was surrounded. So my parents were in the country, so I was surrounded by other, all the social community I could need. And I don't think at the time I had any dreams in the far future or anything that was resembling that. And I think that stage, even when I wanted to be an actor, that stage kind of continued for the next 3 or 4 years. And I think that is probably the closest I can get to living life how people would have done it before the internet, before we were such a kind of global community when it comes to the world, so globally minded. We would have, just had our own little community and pretty much just stayed in that community our entire lives. And you would have kind of lived day to day, and that would be it. Things would just happen around you in this thriving community. And it's really funny that despite the fact that the world has opened up to us and we can now go further and do more, those communities don't really exist anymore. You have it in school, where you're surrounded by people, even more so if you're living at school, as I was. And then you may get a similar feeling when you're at university, where all the kind of social needs that you could have, you didn't even have to think about it because it was just there. And then you leave that and you enter the adult world, and suddenly you have to work to be social. You have to think about it. And I thought that was something to do with growing up. That was something that you had to learn to be social again growing up. But I'm now thinking that maybe that's the way to do it. I mean, obviously I can't do that now. My brain is, I've been awakened. I've taken the red pill. I see the world. I have goals and I have ambitions and I have to work for even social interaction, but I have to force myself to go out and find network and hang out with people. But he does really think that feels like the nicer way to do it, is just everything's around you, specifically socially. You don't have to work to a goal, and you just live moment to moment. This happens and this happens, and you don't have this looming sense of dread. And this is something that has goals and aspirations when it comes to living is something that has artificially entered our lives because we don't have anything else to worry about. And I'm not saying that, okay, and I'm not looking at this as in a negative or a positive light, because quite frankly, I like having goals. I like setting that and having a path forward. But I can also really see the positives in not having that and just living in your community day to day, and everyone you ever need is around you. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about. There's no real kind of question, I guess. I wrote down something, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, something to think on. Maybe I'll think on it more and then do another video later. Anyway,